Hi you guys, it's Karina. So I am back with another video tutorial on my Dahlia using my template 71. So the previous video that I uploaded here on YouTube was on my template 71, but it was on the succulent, which is this flower right here. So there is a video tutorial for this one. Now, as mentioned in that succulent video, template 71, the original flower was this succulent. Okay, so if you're interested in learning how to make the succulent, refer to that video. It's the video right before this one. But I wanted to do a refresher on the Dahlia. Now, I do have already, I want to say 2 video tutorials already here on my YouTube channel on the Dahlia. But those were like from the original was from 3 years ago, and then the other one I think like a year or so. But I figured, let me do a refresher since I already did the succulent one, and I wanted to do a refresher on the Dahlia because you are not, oh, hold on, it's my child, sorry, it was my son. So as mentioned, the Dahlia is going to require different petals. Okay, so let me show you. So with template 71, as mentioned before, the original template this is what it looks like. You get 4 sets to make 4 different size succulents. Okay, and each succulent size has 5 petals. But since we're not making the succulent and we're only focusing on the Dahlia, you are going to be using the long petals. Okay, so you're going to want to grab the longer petals, as those are the ones that we will be using for the Dahlia. Now, there is one of these is the same size, which is the second petal. Okay, so technically you are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 petals for the Dahlia. Okay, not 8, because remember, these two are the same size. Okay, so these are the ones that you're going to need along with the bases. Okay, so the circles are going to be included as well with the template, and this is going to serve as your base. So you're going to follow the same steps as I'm going to show you in the tutorial how to assemble. These were assembled the same way, not exactly the same amount of petals, but the same technique. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I just want to show you right here. This is the smallest that you're going to be able to make for a Dahlia. She's roughly around 12, 13 inches. Depending on how you space her will determine the size. And I did use the first 3 petals. Okay, so when you're making the Dahlia, it's going to require 3 petals. This was the medium one. Okay, and I want to say I used these 3 right here, so I omitted the first 2 long big ones. Okay, and I did the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th petal. Today we're gonna make the large Dahlia, actually, but we're gonna omit this one, and we're gonna do the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th petal. So I'm not gonna do this one, only because if I do it in this video tutorial, it's not gonna fit in the camera. Because she gets huge. Okay, so you are able to use the first 2 larger petals using the large base. Okay, so again, we're going to be using, so not the first one, we're going to use the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th petal along with the larger base. Okay, and again, follow the same techniques. I hope it's not overwhelming. I have gotten before that it can be a little overwhelming, mostly because I think with the prepping of the petals, it can be a little time consuming, but I promise you, the more you make these, the easier they become. It's just kind of like a rose. If you're starting out with roses, they can be a little bit difficult, but once you keep working on them, you know, that saying is true. Practice makes perfect. You have to practice, 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 practice. If it doesn't come out the first time, please do not give up, because you have no idea how many times I get messages like, well, it doesn't look like yours. Please keep in mind, I've been doing this for almost 6-7 years, so it just comes natural to me. Okay, but I hopefully through my tutorials you can learn, okay? And you will get there. Believe me, I've had many clients send me pictures of my dahlias and they look amazing, okay? So you definitely can do it. All right, so let's get started with the materials that you are going to need. All right, you guys, so see that these are the materials you're going to need. Obviously, you're going to need the templates. You're going to need a wooden dowel. You're going to need cardstock, a pencil, scissors, and then you are also going to need a glue gun. Now, I am going to be using 65-pound cardstock. This is from Astro Brights in the color Pulsar Pink. Now, I did purchase this in bulk, 250 is how many sheets it came with. I want to say I got this from Amazon or Walmart. Either one of those. Honestly, it's been a long time, but Walmart does sell Astro Brights. But they only sell them in smaller packs. You can find this where like their printer paper is, and you can definitely find this color. I believe it's kind of like Michael's, where they have like 5 different shades and then only like 10 colors of each. So if you're interested in this color, because it is a beautiful bright pink. The other pink is also from Astro Brights. This one, I don't remember the name of this one, but it's definitely, I want to know, it's not fuchsia. Solar? Oh, maybe not, but it's definitely from Astro Brights as well. I just seen recently there is a pack where this color is included along with Pulsar Pink from Astro Brights. Okay, so like again, you can find them on Amazon. You can definitely find them Walmart online. Definitely Walmart. I'm sure there's other places that also sells Astro Brights, guys. Just Google it. Okay, so cardstock. Now, this template is available in SVG, meaning either your Cricut machine, Silhouette, or whatever cutting machine you have can cut out the petals for you. But it's also going to be available in PDF. PDF just means that you're going to be able to print out the template on cardstock and then create your own hard copy template like this to trace and cut. Personally, when it comes to this specific template, I personally like to hand cut the larger petals, only because I don't have the patience for my Cricut machine to cut 1 to 2 petals at a time, because obviously not that many petals are going to fit in an 8.5 by 11. So I personally like to trace and then cut, because that way I can cut 3 sheets at a time, or 4 depending on the type of scissor. You want to make sure that you have a really good pair of scissors that can cut through cardstock. I am using Westcott, the Carbo Titanium, so I can definitely cut through 4. Okay, so then that way I have 3, so then I have 3 sheets right here. Layer them together, because you don't want to cut these individually like this. No, you're wasting time. Gather paper and then cut them out. But again, the SVG is also there for those that would prefer, because believe me, I've had clients tell me I'm not the greatest at cutting. Do you have this in SVG? And yes, I do. So that way your Cricut machine or your Silhouette can cut it out for you. And voila. Okay, that way I was able to cut 3 petals at a time. Okay, so let's get started on the prepping as to how many you're going to need. Now, not all dahlias are going to have the same amount. Okay, obviously the smaller petals will probably require less, but just follow the same technique. Now, your larger petal is going to serve as your first 2 layers. Okay, first 2 layers is always going to be your largest. Your middle petal is always going to be your 3rd layer, and you're only going to do 1 layer of that petal. And then your smallest petal is going to serve as your 4th and your 5th layer. So right here, and then your inner. Okay, now roughly I'm going to tell you how many I'm going to make of each, but this again doesn't necessarily mean I might need more, I might need less, but typically this is kind of around the realm. So your larger petal, remember, 2 layers. I'm going to make about 30, okay, because the first layer for this one took 15, and then the second layer took 15. So I'm going to make 30 of these For this one, I'm going to make 9. Typically, roughly around there is kind of the amount. And then for my last petal, which is your 4th and your 5th layer on top, I'm also going to make 9. But again, I might need more, I might need less, but I'm going to start off right there. Now let's prep our petals. This might be the time consuming part for you guys. Get yourself a wooden dowel, and you are going to give your petals a curl inward. Then we are going to create a cone on the bottom. Just like this. Get your glue gun. This is the mini detailed glue gun by Surebonder. Then you're just gonna hold for a couple of seconds, make sure that glue is sticking. Okay. Now I like to give the bottom of it a pinch, because this is where we're gonna add the glue when we glue it to the base. Now we need our wooden dowel again, and we are going to curl these petals here back. So gently just give it a roll. See that? Repeat with the next side. And voila. And I do recommend for you to get a pack of wooden dowels that have different sizes. This one's smaller. I think for this one I'm gonna need a smaller wooden dowel to give these a better curl back. That is how you're gonna prep all your petals. Let's do that again. Give them the curl inward. Glue on the bottom. Hold a couple of seconds. You want to pinch that petal on the bottom. And then give your petals a curl back. And voila. So you're going to do this to all of them. So again, I'm going to make 30, 9, and 9. Okay, that's a good baseline to start at. So I'm going to go ahead and get those all prepped, and then I will be back for the assembly. Okay, you guys, the petals are all prepped. So start off, we're going to start off with the first layer. So you're going to add glue to the back. And then just place your petal. Okay, and you're gonna glue these all around. Don't stress about the spacing if they're not even. You're gonna go all around. You wanna leave a little bit of spacing, but not that much of a gap. And remember, I did 15 for this first layer and the second layer, but if we don't do, we may need more or less. I do find that the larger dahlias do require more. And it all depends on the spacing too, because obviously if your spacing is more wider, then obviously less petals you would use. And honestly, it's not a hard template, you guys. At least I don't think it's hard. It's just definitely time consuming. Oh, and that other pink, you guys, that I showed you guys, I looked it up. I believe it's plasma pink. So this is pulsar, and the other one plasma. But again, you can find them both in one of those packs at Walmart. Okay, I definitely think we're gonna definitely go over 15 here. And that's okay, we'll just make more. We're almost at the end. All right, let's see if we can squeeze 2 in here. Gonna make sure that, yeah, cause see, if we did 1, there's gonna be too much spacing. And let's add 1 more. All right. So I am done with that first layer. So let's see, how many did I use? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19 petals. So this first layer was 19. So if you want to make 19, go for it. I'm telling you, sometimes I've done 15. So it all depends. And honestly, it all depends on the way that you roll your petal. So great example would be these 2 right here. Notice the difference, how this one is a little bit more thinner and this one is more wider. So depending on how you roll them will obviously determine how many petals you will fit. Okay, so again, don't get all discouraged and you're like, oh, well, she used 19 and I only use 17. No, just your goal here is to just do that first layer and just fill it up. So then we're going to go on to the second layer, and pretty much, so this is the same petal size. Okay, and I'm just going to show you, I'm going to start the second layer, but I'm not going to finish it all here with you guys. I'm just going to cut and then be back, because I mean, I don't want to bore you with that. But your goal here is to go in between. Okay, so add your glue. Go in between. Okay, that is your goal. Sometimes they might not line up. That's okay, because again, it'll depend. So again, notice how this one's wider and this one is not as wide. It's okay. Okay, remember that real flowers, not all petals are shaped the same. If they're a little bit odd, it's okay. Your goal here now is just to go around in a circle. And if you notice, sometimes I do this all the time. I alternate, like going to this side, and that's just a personal preference. But this is pretty much it. You're just gonna go around until you close her up. All right, so let me go ahead and finish this second layer and I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, so I am done with that second layer. So I did only use 18 on this layer, so I did not do 19 like the first layer, so 18. Again, if you use more or less, that's totally fine. Your goal here is just to go around in a circle. So we are on to our third layer. So this is the second size petal. And we are going to repeat. So I like to start in between petals. Now you're definitely going to use less petals, okay? So your goal here is just to go around and glue these petals. And I believe I said I made 9 of these. I have a feeling we may need more. So let's see how many we actually need of these. I'm pretty sure we're going to need more. And I don't really worry about lining up now between the petals. If they're not matching up, like see how it's not, it's okay. Your goal here is just to glue them around. Yep, I'm definitely gonna need more of these. have this one. All right, you guys, see, I definitely need more. So let me see, 1, 2, 3. I probably can squeeze in 4 more. So let me make 4. Let me finish this 3rd layer and then I'll be back for the final part. Okay, you guys, so I did end up using, so I did add 4 more. So in total we have 13. So I have a feeling we're gonna need more of the inner center, the smaller petals. So now we're on to our last petals. Okay, so this is your smaller size. So these, you're gonna do your 4th layer in your last layer. And I like to start again in between 2 petals, just like that 3rd layer. And then you're just gonna go around. And sorry if the lighting is starting to go darker, the sun is starting to go down. A wooden dowel comes in handy at this point, because sometimes it can be a little hard to stick that finger in there to press it down. So wooden dowel is going to be your best friend. And then just go. Now, there is a picture under the description on this one where you can, if you want, I think I'll do a tutorial because I don't think I have one, do I? I don't believe I do. I think I did a picture tutorial on my Instagram where if you omit these little ones, you can add a styrofoam ball and kind of bling it up. It's so beautiful. Look at that picture. All you do is just omit these little cuties, the 4th and the 5th layer, and just add like a styrofoam ball. I think I'm gonna do, I have another idea actually of what I want to do. So I've never done it, and I kind of want to do where, again, I'll omit these petals, so I would just have the first 3 layers, and I kind of want to do like a styrofoam. I actually made a tutorial on oh my gosh, what is that flower called? A protea. I'm probably butchering the name, but I do have a video tutorial of a center using a styrofoam ball, then a Cricut image, and how the center is kind of closed in. I kind of wanted to recreate that center again and add it to the center of the dahlia. So that's definitely something I have in mind in doing. I don't know why, I can envision it in my head. So I think I'm gonna try and do that. So we're done with that. Was this our 4th layer? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we did 8 petals. So now we're gonna stick with the same size. Okay. And now you're just gonna fill her in the center. But guess what? I ran out of petals because I only made 9. So let me make more petals, and then I'll be right back to finish her up. I'm sorry. See, I told you, it's a guessing game. Start off with a good base of how many you think you need, because not always you're going to use the same amount of petals, you guys, okay? Take it from me. All right, so I made 5 more extra. Let's see if that'll be enough for us to finish her up. Let me get this. Oh yeah, definitely. This wooden dowel. Then pretty much just place them wherever you just want to fill this up in the center. Make sure you're using that wooden dowel to really press down. I think I'm able to squeeze 1 more. We're going to squeeze her in. And looks like that's it, you guys. And it looks like we are all done. Here she is. Isn't she beautiful? I am obsessed with this dahlia. Let's see how big she is. Now remember, we didn't use the largest of the petals. So she is already around 19 inches, you guys. So if you were to use the larger petal, or that's not the largest one. Where is she? Oh, she's somewhere over here. This would definitely be around 21 inches, okay? Just remember, to make the dahlia, you're using 3 petals, okay? So follow the same techniques that I showed you for this one to make the dahlias. And again, I have 2 more video tutorials that will be linked down below on the original Dahlia tutorial that I created years ago when I first released her. And then I have another tutorial on the painted Dahlia, which pretty much I used pan pastel colors to paint the petals of a Dahlia. So I show you how I went ahead and did that. So if you have any questions, please message me either on my Etsy, my Instagram, or my email, arielelisedesigns@gmail.com. I'm always happy to help you guys, so please don't be afraid to ask if you need help, okay? This video here is just to get you started on how to do this dahlia. Like I said, there's not going to be written instructions telling you which petals you're going to do for this size. No, I kind of did a little overview of what you're supposed to do, and I'm going to leave it up to you. But again, if you need help, come message me. All right, you guys, I will chat with you guys later. Bye. Hi guys. Okay, so I forgot to mention that template 71 is also available in a mini version. So I did make that template into a smaller version just because I had many clients who just wanted smaller dahlias, because template 71, again, it's gonna be for larger dahlias, around 12 to 20 inches if you want to make them. So template 77 is available, so it is the smaller version. So you're gonna be able to make, so I have them tucked here into my wall, so you're gonna be able to make roughly between 6 inches to 12 inches. So again, this is going to be a smaller version, and with this one I believe you receive 6 petals, and you're only going to be receiving these long pointy petals, not the ones to make the succulents, okay? It's going to be strictly just for smaller dahlias. Okay, so I will have that template linked below along with the video tutorial that belongs to this one, because I did make one a couple years back on template 77. So I just wanted to throw that out there for you guys.